Welcome, everyone. We have an exciting presentation today. We're going to be talking about the mentorship program for Product Hive. So we'll first start off here with some introductions. Myself, I'm Brian Gates. I'm the leader of this wonderful band of volunteers here to help stand up and put together the latest rendition of our mentorship program. With me, I have Mitch, who's here as well. You'll hear from him here in a second. Johnny, and then Cameo. And then we also have 3 other team members here on the call as well. Claire, Nathan, and Nessa. All very excited to share kind of what we have coming for the mentorship program. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the agenda. So we're going to talk first about what's new. We've made some different changes to how the program runs this year. So most of this call is going to be talking about how things are different, what the process is to be part of the program as a mentor or a mentee, how trainings and meetings are going to work, and then we'll kind of outline some key dates and then take any questions at the end. So what's new? First off, we're trying something different this time around. A lot of the program history is really kind of been around kind of spreadsheets and team effort to kind of make the mentoring program work. Taking a lot of, let's say, work from the team here, we're hoping to roll out this software here that supports our mentoring program. We did not make this software, so fair warning, since we're all product management and UX professionals, as those in that discipline looking at this software, there are definitely some opportunities to improve those. And I'm sure Menternity would love to hear them from you as well, but just fair warning that may not necessarily be the most usable software, but it does get the job done. And what it does do for us is really help streamline the process for managing this program. And that's kind of why we've gone down this road. It's important for us to spend more time working with you to help make better mentors and to make better mentees, as well as mentor and mentee relationships. And so we as volunteers would love to spend more time doing that, as opposed to kind of working in spreadsheets. And so this software helps us do that. It'll help ensure that you guys are able to kind of find your right matching and pairing, as well as it's going to give us lots of data around how the program's operating, which is where then the next kind of round on this, we can help refine and improve it. So it's a good stepping stone for us, I think, to really kind of get to those next levels with this program. And we're really excited to kind of share how this works later on in this presentation. So in terms of the program itself, it's called Menternity. It's a mouthful. I've struggled to say the name, but it's an awesome software. It does do an awesome job in helping us kind of get up to the point where we can have our mentors and mentees really kind of facilitate the relationship through this software. And that also gives us a lot of good insight and immediate feedback from your meetings so that we can help make the program better. But we're going to have each one of our leads kind of go through the different elements of the program, how it works, how you can be involved. And again, we'll take some questions here in a second. So with that, I'm going to pass it off to Mitch here, who's going to cover, or excuse me, Johnny, who's going to cover our mentor process. So Johnny, I'll hand it over to you here.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate that. Yeah. So hi, everyone. I'm Jonathan, or Johnny, they call me sometimes as well. So you're welcome to do the same. I work at Carvana and I've been volunteering with Product Hive. I've been part of Product Hive for a number of years now. And so I'm excited to share what we have here for you. But first, let me thank you all for being here. My guess is that someone in your life has helped you or is helping you along in your journey as a product person. And so it's no different for me. And mentoring has given us giving me a way to give back. And I'm sure that's part of why you're here as well. By the way, if you don't mind, if you would just put in the chat real quick, if you're here as wanting to be a mentor, just type in mentor. Give us an idea of how many here want to be a mentor. And being a mentor is really fun. Being able to have that kind of interaction with others. And so I'm going to be going over a few things. And the first thing like we have here is the mentor expectations. We're going to talk about how to apply some mentoring profile tips for being a good mentor, and then of course some mentoring support along the way. So cool. If some of you may recognize, this is getting to be a really old reference. You can tell how old I am. I really like the Karate Kid, and especially Mr. Miyagi. His character was really cool. And you know how committed he was to Daniel and helping him develop his skills. And so we're asking the same of you to be committed to your mentee. We have limited space for mentors. And so we're hoping, and we look forward to reviewing all of those applications. And a commitment, as you see there, is to be engaged with your mentee for 12 weeks. And this is going to be about an hour to 2 hours of time during the week, one for the session, and then perhaps some prep as well, so that you can get ready to give your best to the mentee. And yeah, and we'll talk more about what that kind of means later about giving your best, but you can see a list right there kind of quickly, some of those highlights. All right, the next page would be how to apply, right? So the application is pretty simple. Like Brian mentioned, you know, I'm sure a lot of us will recognize some ways, some opportunities to improve there. But the application form is very simple. You're going to be asked about topics that you want to mentor on, your primary expertise like PM, UX, UXR, leadership, your level of expertise, how long what level you're at, and then areas of expertise like leading people or visual design or research, those kind of skills. And so you'll be able to fill that out as you apply. All right. The next is the profile tips, right? One thing would be really good if you could add a picture. We're all just humans, right? And trying to get to know each other. And there's a lot that comes across in a picture. And so be sure to add a picture that would be help your mentees be able to pick a good mentor. And then provide some details about your background, your story, why you're in product and why you want to be a mentor. This will help the mentees get to know you a little bit and be able to make a choice of who to select as their mentor. And of course, have some fun, you know, express and be enthusiastic as best you can with your profile. All right. Next, we're going to talk a little bit. I'm going to talk a little bit about tips for being a good mentor. And I'm sure many of you here, looks like we have about 22 people that kind of commented about being a mentor. You've probably done this before, but for those who are new, perhaps you're thinking, look, I've never really been a mentor, or, oops, excuse me, got to put that on silent. You might be thinking, you know, hey, look, I've never been a mentor before, but I'd really love to do this, or I've done it a few times and I would love to learn how to get better. Well, I'm here to help you level up as best as I can. And I've been doing this, I've been doing mentoring for a few years now, and I've learned a few things along the way. And so here's some quick tips. We'll just kind of read through these a bit. Really important to listen actively, right? And to do that, you know, you want to build trust and be able to show up on time and do the things that you've committed to doing. Help the mentee focus on their goals and why are they here, and what can they do to improve. And so basically be a Mr. Miyagi to them. Be encouraging, be supportive, and take on the mindset of being a learning facilitator. I think that's a really key thing as well. But don't worry, this is not the only training. There's going to be more resources and availability for us to collaborate on best ways to handle situations, or even just what to do next, right? And so we'll talk about support on the next slide. And here we are. So I'll be the mentoring lead and supporting you during your time here during this cohort. I'll be holding office hours the first few weeks, so you can jump in, ask a question, get some feedback, whatever I can do to help. We'll also be creating FAQs about the questions that we receive. And then we'll also be sharing out a Product Hive mentoring resource Notion page that will be full of support like templates and guides, suggestions for you to level up your mentoring skills. And then so to wrap up, I'm super excited for you all to be here. I hope you can take on that mindset of a Mr. Miyagi or whatever is best for you to think about to help these mentees and help us support the community of product professionals. And so that's all I got. Thanks.
Hey, wait, that's not what it looks like. Go back. That's not how it looks on my side. That's strange. Okay, well, we can start. Can you refresh if it'll let you hard refresh, Brian? If not, I can walk through the
Should be
time
good
commitment.
now.
All right, so mentee. All right, so how do you apply to be a mentee to start? Oh, there it is, Mentee Expectations. Beautiful. I don't have a cool Mr. Miyagi photo or a cool Daniel photo. The expectations to be a mentee are actually a little more extreme. And the reason why is, if you're a mentee, hopefully you're coming because you want to improve something or you have some real clear goals. And those are probably going to take you longer to work on every single week than it's going to take your mentor to prep to help you talk through that stuff. So if you're going to join as a mentee, please commit to the full 12 weeks. These are valuable spots. We want to make sure that the people who are taking these spots are committed to the entire length and really committed to trying to work through these things. Plan on at least 2 to 3 hours a week, and definitely extra credit if you can bring more. You're not going to be given necessarily homework to fill up those 3 weeks those 3 hours by your mentor. But hopefully you're looking at this as an opportunity to take that feedback that they're giving you and the conversations that you're having to make some really concrete improvements during these times. And then the other things are really bring your best from a learning perspective. Understand your goals. What do you want to achieve in this mentor-mentee relationship? And, I think you can be aspirational with your goals, but also this is a 12-week timeline with a mentor who's going to give you feedback and guidance, but they're probably not going to come in and change your life or get you a great job over that 12 weeks. So this is very much a you thing where you need to bring yourself and then bring that learning mindset. If you're a mentee, the goal is to increase your skills, your experience, your capabilities. So be open and encouraging to the feedback, because that's going to create a stronger relationship. Next slide. Thank you. So how to apply? There's an application form. It's pretty simple. The fields are not all required, but the more detail you provide, the better able the mentors are going to be to assess a good match. And when we walk you through that process, you'll see how that works. But ultimately, mentors are going to get to decide the mentees. And so you want to give them information so that they can really align with your goals. So some tips on the profile. Again, just like with the mentor, include a photo. You guys have been doing the online thing. You know how much it helps to see somebody. It gives you a lot more connection with them. Be clear about your goals. Again, the more clarity you have about the outcomes you're hoping to achieve in this mentor program, the more likely you're going to be to find the mentor that's a good match for you, and the more successful you're going to be with that clarity. And then show enthusiasm. I've mentored a fair amount of people over the years, and it's a lot easier to mentor somebody who's enthusiastic about the relationship and who is coming as somebody who really wants to learn. So bring that enthusiasm to your profile as well. Okay, so I think Gianni, I'm sorry, I think Brian kind of warned you. There's some clunkiness in the UI. I think this is maybe the worst of some of the UI problems and the user experience problems. After you put in your profile, you'll go and you'll view a variety of mentors. You have to find this crazy selection page button to actually go and look at the mentors themselves. So when you get to this page and you're like, selection is on, what am I supposed to do? Look clear to the very far right of your monitor and then click here on that button, and it's going to take you to the next page. You'll then see the profile for the mentors, the ones that Johnny just walked you through, and look over different mentors, see who you think will be a good mix or a match for you. And you can select up to 3 mentors for consideration, and then you'll be put into their system to be considered. So some notes about our acceptance criteria, and maybe we should have started with this. Our current license, I think Brian mentioned this, it restricts us to accepting 100 users. That we believe will end up being 50 mentors and 50 mentees, although we might end up with a higher percentage of mentees and mentors supporting more than one person. So we anticipate having more people apply than we can accept. I don't know for sure it'll happen. We have 77 people on this call right now. So if all of you rushed right after this and applied, you'd probably be kind of first come, first serve is definitely going to be our mindset. So, but if we get to the point where we have more applicants than we can support with the program, we will have to do evaluation. Certainly having an application that's filled out thoroughly is going to help you. Try not to miss the deadlines, because then all the mentee-mentor relationships will have already been set and we won't be able to find somebody to match you with. And then active participation in the program is actually required. So if you're a mentee and you miss multiple sessions with your mentor, we'll remove you from the program and find somebody who is willing to commit. And then if you don't make it this round, it's okay. In 12 weeks, we're going to do it again. And so, yeah. So some tips for being a good mentee. And just like, as Johnny was pointing out, we have a nice Notion page on some hints and tips for being a good mentee. And once we get a little closer to, we'll talk about some dates, but we'll run some sessions, both for the mentee groups and then for the mentor groups, to help people really step into this role. So remember, your mentor is a volunteer. Nobody here is getting paid. The mentor is volunteering to help you and to provide this mentorship, and treat them that way. You know, don't treat them like as an employee that's showing up to service you. Develop trust, build relationships with these people. I have mentee relationships that have spanned multiple, years and years and years. I have mentors that have mentored me that have gotten me great jobs years later by referring me. So this shouldn't be a one-off. Hopefully this is going to be a relationship that will really impact your life. And then also really set realistic expectations with your mentor about what you're trying to achieve. And if you say, right from the front, I want you to get me a job, they're going to be able to say, hey, listen, that's probably not something that I can help you do, but maybe I can help coach you on how to interview better, right? So trying to align those expectations to something that's realistic within the frame of the program. Be really respectful of your mentor's time. Don't be hassling them on Slack at 4 a.m. because you're worried about something. Be flexible and learn, and then creating a plan. I noticed somebody in the chat said, where can we find the links to those resources? We'll make sure that you have those available, and see those for suggestions and templates. And then we're here to support you. Me and Nessa, who's part of the volunteer team, are committed to the support of the mentee group. And we're here to make it a great experience for mentees to be mentees within the Product Hive program. That's all. Oh, yeah. I kind of covered this already, but we are building frequently asked questions around the program. There'll be questions specific to maternity, and then as we get into the program, questions about what it's like to be in the whole program. So, and then we're going to run some weekly office hours during the enrollment period, 2 times a week. I don't think that Nessa and I figured out those exact times, so we're still kind of emergent on that. So we'll have those shortly. And that's all, I think, for the mentee side.
Awesome. Thanks, Cameo. Everyone, my name is Mitch, and I'm also involved with the program. We'll be helping out. So as kind of Johnny and Cameo alluded to, it is going to be a little different this time. We are using this Mentornity software to facilitate this cohort. There are limited seats available. It does involve some commitment here, but I'll kind of show what happens next. So if we go ahead on the next slide, But yeah, basically, what's going to happen is at the end of this, we'll give a link where you're able to apply. You can be mentor or mentee, and then we'll have that open for a week. And then we'll be able to accept a limited amount of people into the program. And as Cameo explained, every mentee will have the opportunity to choose their mentor. So that's a very big different thing that's happening this time, is we're going to put the power in the mentees, and you're going to be able to see the profiles of all your mentors, of all the available mentors in the program, and you'll be able to send a request for them to mentor you. And then mentors will be able to decide whether or not they feel like they're a good fit. They'll have access to your profile, you'll have access to their profile. If they feel like they are a good fit to mentor you, then they can approve your request. You'll be paired together for the 12 weeks. And now kind of the question of, that's a lot of steps to get through: applying, getting accepted, selecting your mentor accepting you. What happens after that? And so I'll just kind of give a sneak peek into the software and what it looks like. If we go to the next slide. So you'll have kind of a profile page, and in the upper right corner, you'll see that kind of envelope icon where you can start chatting together with your mentor. As a mentor and mentee, you'll be able to chat together through the software. You'll also have access to each other's emails if you prefer that route. And if we go to the next screen, as a mentor, you'll be able to set up available time slots. And so you can kind of, for the next 12 weeks, indicate here's all the days and times that I'm available. As some people have alluded to, it does take a little to navigate around. And so this is an optional feature. You can also just, talk through the chat and get a rough ballpark of, hey, what days and times work for you? But you can use the software to, schedule your open availability. And if we go to the next slide, you'll notice there'll be a little calendar, and any of those light blue slots, that'll be your mentor's available times if they choose that time slot route. Otherwise, on the right side, you'll see where it says pick a custom time. And so you can also mentor or mentee, maybe you agreed via email or chat of, let's do this day of the week at this time. Then you can just go ahead and click that, and you'll be able to schedule kind of a meeting to meet together. On the next slide, you'll see the program supports, you can, hook in your Zoom or Google Meet or other video software. They also have a built-in one. It's called Jitsi Meet, kind of a little funky name there, but that is an option you can use that is completely free and available to you. And then if you go to the next slide, you'll notice that it's just like any other software. I'm like almost wearing the same shirt as that picture. But yeah, so you'll be able to meet together. All that will be facilitated through the software. And one of the big reasons that we're excited about this, if you are using these built-in tools, that will allow us as kind of the admins for this to just make sure that mentors and mentees are actually meeting together. We've heard a lot of feedback in the past, some struggles with mentees not meeting with their mentors or mentors not meeting with their mentees. And it's hard for us to know who's actually meeting with who. And so one thing this will allow us is kind of help us see, make sure that people are using the program, help us kind of support and facilitate, and make sure this is happening for both parties, for the mentors and the mentees, because nothing's worse than signing up and then getting no-showed. And so we do want to be able to help facilitate that and help make sure that there is a commitment in here. And we hope that if you apply and get accepted, that you keep to that commitment during those 12 weeks to meet with your mentor or your mentee. And so that's just kind of a high-level overview. Don't need to memorize all of that. We'll explain it again and again. We'll have some help guides. You'll receive information as it goes throughout the process, but that just kind of gives you an insight of how this cohort is going to function and work for the next 12 weeks.
Thanks, Mitch. So we'll cover some key dates here lead up to the program. So to sign up, you can use this QR code here, or you can go to the Product Hive Mentor section of the Product Hive website. And there is a link to jump over to the application process. You can apply to be a mentor and a mentee or just either one of those. So application process is open today. So that link is active right now. So please head on over and do that. We're going to close out the applications on April 1st. And that's not a joke. But that's the day we'll shut off applications. And at that point, we'll start approving applications, which will allow us to open up pairings for the 4th. The application process and the profile setup, they're the same questions. And so once you've done the application process, your profile will basically just need an approval from you to make it active. On April 4th, we'll be looking to, again, open those pairings. So as the team here has covered, when we have those pairings open, the sooner you get in to go select your mentor, the more available mentors that will be available to you. So when you're selecting as a mentee, you can select up to 3 different mentors or request to be mentored by up to 3 mentors. But we are going to limit the pairings there to a 1-to-1. So a mentor will have 1 mentee for this cohort. And that's kind of our plan for this as they go around in this. And then, as we mentioned, we'll have a variety of support meetings to help anybody that has any issues, even throughout this. Please use our Slack channel, the mentor channel in Slack. So if you have any questions, feel free to hit us up on that. And at that, I'll kind of open the Zoom here to any questions folks may have on the program, being a mentor, being a mentee, or anything we can help address. So it's a question from Kevin here. I'll read it out. That was in the channel here. Is there any flexibility in the frequency of meeting? If the mentor and mentee would both prefer every other week? Johnny, you want to answer that one maybe?
Yeah, I think that's great. You know, if you're both agreed to that, I think that's fine. I think what we want to make sure that both are agreeable to that. Not one is sort of mandating that to the other. And so hopefully there can be some agreement. And if there are any other questions, then yeah, let us know and we'll try to answer those.
Perfect. I have another one for you, Johnny. Is there a list of available mentor specialties?
Yeah, in the form, you'll see a list of those topics and also expertise, like skills. You'll be able to select those and those should show up in the mentor profile as well.
All right, another question here. I'm not from the US. Is country going to be an issue if I can manage timings? There shouldn't be an issue there. Again, I think from a mentor-mentee relationship, as long as you guys can find a time that works for both of you to meet, I don't see an issue there.
There was a question from Jade. Jade says, I'm not from the US. Is the country going to be an issue if I can manage the timing?
Yep.
And I think it's a problem at all.
Yep, not a problem. Another question here from Cassandra. When would applications for the next cohort open? We would look to start the next cohort in July. And so timing for that, this one should close at the end of June. And then we would have another one of these meetings to announce in July, kind of the upcoming cohort, and begin to launch that around that time frame. And then Victoria asked here, can I apply now and join a later cohort? Absolutely. I think we would probably encourage you to apply after our deadline if you're not interested in this cohort. That way we'll have you in the system and we can use you in the next cohort so you don't necessarily take up a spot this time around would probably be my recommendation. We're real excited to use this application. This team did a lot of work to really kind of get that application up and running. There was a lot of testing involved, a lot of back and forth with the vendor to kind of get the product to work for our team and for this program. So we're really excited to take advantage of it and really get, as I say, some great value for both mentees and mentees out of it. And then also, again, hopefully continue to grow this program. I forgot to mention at the beginning here, I want to give a big shout out to Bonnie, Sean, Rudd, and Don, who had previously run the program. And for all those that have volunteered in the past, they say we wouldn't be at this point without their hard work and effort. And so it's been awesome to kind of pick up and carry the torch from where they took the program. And we're excited to use this software to hopefully continue to evolve it. And again, huge shout out to our team here, Mitch, Johnny, Cameo, Nathan, Nessa, and Claire for all the work and time they've volunteered already just to get to this point. So we're real excited to share this product with you guys in the program.
We had one more question from Shelley Lee. Are there restrictions to Mentee experience levels? If you're a senior person, a senior UX designer or a senior manager, will there be mentors that could match with that? I would think so, just because on this volunteer team, we have mentors that could do that. Honestly, I don't know for sure until we see who applies for the mentor roles.
Yeah, and just a word about that. Yeah, you'll as a mentee, you'll be able to select the mentor that fits best for you. So hopefully those kinds of the things that they'll show in their profile, so you can see exactly if that's a match for you, Shelley. So yeah, we're hoping to get a good mix of people.
At the same time, with all mentorship programs, there's no guarantee in supply and demand. So, do you recommend, jumping on it, responding quickly to each of the steps and paying attention to the deadlines? But it is possible you could get accepted, and then, there might not quite be the right matches there, but we're going to kind of play it by ear. And once again, this is entirely a volunteer program. So it really is kind of up to volunteers of who shows up. And so, yeah.
Another question from Joe. I may have missed this. If the mentees are choosing 3 possible mentors, should we wait to register until mentors have a chance to join?
Yeah, what we'll do is we'll approve the mentors first, so they get into the application and their profiles are up and running, and then we will open it up to mentees. So go ahead and for both mentor and mentee, the link that we show here, the applications for those are both open. So go ahead and apply today for those. And then we will, release those based on the dates here on the previous slide. So as mentors get approved, those will be kind of coming in and approved as we get, receive those applications. And then on the 4th, we will basically batch approve the mentees, which will open pairing. So again, limited space here. April 1st is the deadline for both mentee mentors. And then on the 4th, we will flip the switch and people can start pairing.
Great. And then another question from Sanjay. If I want to be both mentor and mentee, then do I need to create 2 different profiles? I believe we are supporting both. Is that right, Mitch?
Yeah, so with that one, you'll still need to fill out the mentor application and the mentee application. Just make sure you use the same email for both. And Mentority does support, you'll be able to toggle back and forth between your mentee profile and your mentor profile. And so if you want both of those under the same account, then yeah, use the same email. But yeah, you will have a profile for each one, your mentee profile of what are you looking for? How do you want to grow? But then you also have your mentor profile of, what are you able to mentor in? So you will have 2 profiles, but they can be under 1 account.
Yeah, good questions. Thank you for asking those.
Maybe a final call for questions here. Otherwise, we'll wrap up today's call. Oh, long one here. think we're good. Any other questions? And Alex, I got your message. I'll reach out to you via Slack and chat with you on that one. So,
And if you have any additional questions, and we have the Product Hive Slack organization, go join the mentor channel. We're happy to answer any questions there as well, or reach out to one of us. We're here to support all of you. So looking forward to having you all apply.
Yep, get your spot, apply today.
all right, everyone, have a good afternoon. Thank you all.